Here we go, and thanks for tuning in to Phil Hulett and Friends. We are going to talk about a topic that is apropos for the time of the year, the season, the Halloween season. The whole concept of being possessed or being pretending to be possessed by some kind of demonic force has been the topic of several movies over the years. It scares the bejeebers out of us, right?
What's a bejeeber?
I don't know. Let's search the history of that word. I'm Phil. Aaron and Jay are here. Chris has the day off. And the Reverend Bob Larson joins us live now. And for him, this whole exorcism thing is the real deal. In fact, his website is therealexorcist.com. And we have a link to it on our links page at philhulettandfriends.com. You've been a televangelist over the years, and now this has become your focus. I've seen you on TV in a couple of places. For starters here, Reverend Larson, would you please describe for us what it means to be possessed?
Well, to be possessed means simply to, in some area, psychoneurologically, to be taken over. Mind, feeling, emotions, to the extent that an evil spirit internally dwells and can express itself through the behavior, the emotions, and the actions of an individual. But that's on a gradient scale, and it could be from very severe to mild.
So what are some of the telltale symptoms of demonic possession?
Well, it's not the way Hollywood describes it, but the people who often come to me for an exorcism, whether in one of our seminars or in a private session, talk about being tormented. The torment may be physical, scratches, bites, even blood. It could be environmental, hauntings, seeing things, apparitions and appearances, or it can be just mental, where they feel like they want to kill themselves. And the individuals have been to psychiatrists, psychologists, counselors, social workers, pastors, and so on. They've worked with people and not had any remission of the problems, the symptoms.
So at what point do you arrive at the conclusion that an exorcism is the right prescription?
Well, it depends. If it's in a public setting, at a seminar, very often that's just kind of by the seat of the pants. When somebody has a violent demonic manifestation, you have to deal with it. But in a private setting, I take a very detailed inquiry. I have a 12-page profile they have to fill out, and they question them for a half an hour to an hour. But eventually, if all the signs lead that way, then we make contact with the spirit.
All right, so we're gonna get deeper into that in a moment. But what does it take to be a bona fide exorcist?
A lot of experience. There's really nowhere to learn. We now have an online school of exorcism where we actually train people. And it's the first time that's really ever been done on any kind of mass scale.
My man here in the studio, Jay, he's actually considered being an exorcist, so he's paying careful attention here. But again, before, Jay, just a second. I know you want to talk to the Reverend here about this, but I want to get a little deeper into this. Now, you include your family in this. You have the school, but you have three daughters. Tell me about Bryn, Savannah, and Tess. Are they involved in these exorcisms as well?
Well, Tess and Savannah are sisters, and they are my daughter's best friends. I do have three daughters, but the main daughter is Bryn. She's the lead. And yes, she's been doing this 5 years, and as you probably know, has done it overseas, has done it in major media. And I taught her and the other girls how to do this. So it can be learned. All
right. So what do you say to people who just say, this is a sideshow? It's a way to get people to donate their hard-earned money to you and your ministry.
That's pretty easy to counteract. Just to come to one of our seminars and watch it. And, the media, we're talking about major media from ABC to CNN and so on, have followed up personally with individuals that we've dealt with and done backstory and discovered that these are not kooky people. These are truly tormented individuals, and we invite the closest scrutiny the media wants to take of what we do anytime, anywhere.
All right, and this is where Jay comes in, because I think he has a couple of questions under the heading of scrutiny.
Now, Reverend Larson, from one reverend to another, because I am an ordained minister on an online church, so I get the validity of that. Not really, but anyways. How can you say that you help these people? You must be cheaper than a mental hospital, right? because that's probably where these people should go. But you're walking in and you're taking these people's money. You're taking them for a ride, right? You're like a modern day snake oil salesman, if you will.
You obviously don't know anything about what I do and have not done your ask.
Well, no, that's what I'm trying to figure out because, like I said, I'm a reverend and I paid $10 and now I'm a reverend and now I can do ceremonies. If I pay you more money, if I give you my money, now I'm certified to go help people that probably are nuts?
No, and you know that's not what it involves.
But that's exactly what it involves.
I've written 34 books.
Well, that's great. Listen, I'm all for capitalism. I think what you do is great for making money.
You want to let me talk, that's fine.
All right, Jay, give him a chance to reply. Reverend,
right.
You have the stand, please.
I've written 34 books. I've written some large volumes in world religions, apologetics, and theology, which are used in seminaries and universities. So I'm not somebody who just came up with a cheap gimmick to try and make a buck, and you know that if you do your proper research. Now,
well, look, just because you wrote a book, I mean, look, I'm not saying that you're not an expert in your field, but you're taking people for a ride.
Well, you obviously don't know what you're talking about, and I invite you to attend one of my.
Well, that's one heck of an argument. You know what I mean? Hey, you know what, sir, Reverend? I am a Super Bowl champion. I am a Super Bowl. Now, tell me I'm wrong, and I'm going to tell you you don't know what you're talking about. Anybody can throw that argument out at anything. And it's a pretty big defense mechanism when you're just a snake oil salesman and stealing people's money. What are you doing?
A moment ago, I've sat down with hardcore journalists from CNN, from major television networks, NBC, ABC, and they've spent time with me. Some of them have done in-depth reports. They've watched and observed. They've talked to the people that we deal with. And we've had psychologists and psychiatrists involved. So, you're just taking a cheap shot without really knowing what you're talking about.
Well, I think people can do the research as well. Reverend Bob Larson, again, did I get the website right? It's the realexorcist.com. Is that correct?
Or boblarson.org.
BobLarson.org is a good place to go. We'll link to that as well. It's fascinating stuff to me, and of course, you're always going to have your critics. I think that comes with the business. It comes with the territory.
Oh, sure.
But
sure.
We'll take a look at your websites and decide for ourselves. And thank you for joining us, spending some time talking about exorcism, Reverend Bob Larson.
Thank you, sir.
You are welcome, sir. And there you go. Perfect stuff for Halloween. Jay, what's the matter with you?
Well, what? Come on, I can have my opinion, but
the guy's trying to help people.
And his argument is, you don't know what you're talking about. Get out.
Well, as if we didn't know that already.
That's true. That is true.
Hey, that's it for hour one of the show. You think we can have even more? Let's just piss off Jay for the rest of the show.
Okay.
That's usually entertaining.
After all, he's a reverend of some kind of church.
That's right.